Hello everybody, my name is Slicey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of the places in the game that in the past like 4 to 5 months has changed my account more than any other place. And that's by far going to be Cur City. Now a lot of people might not like Cur City, might not even be able to do much in Cur City. But if you are end game or even late game, you need to be in here. This place is so game changing and I'm going to tell you why. So for just one, we do have the mythical charms, which are very important if you're trying to, let's say, get some really good lethal gear. If you're trying to just craft any set and you want a chance at mythical gear is by far the best. Obviously, I mean, it's the highest rarity and gives you the highest chance at, let's say, the highest speed you could possibly get. Just the highest stats you can get is from mythical. So getting those charms are very important, and this is one of the only places in the game to actually get them very consistently. The next thing is going to be defeating Amius and getting the guaranteed pull every single time. So we haven't been able to do too many pulls yet in the Remnant Summons, but eventually you will being able to hit Pity. I personally have not hit the 2.5% chance, but eventually I will. Eventually I'll hit Pity if I don't get it. And getting a guaranteed mythical out of here is very solid and something that everybody should be shooting for. And then the overall thing I was trying to show within this video is the gear sets. These gear sets are insane, guys. I'm telling you. They've completely changed my account, and I'm going to show you a few builds. I'm going to tell you why they've changed my account and how they can change yours as well. And also, I do want to mention, you don't have to do hard to get a lot of these things. You do lose the chance at the accessories besides Amius. So you won't be getting the accessories, but you'll still be getting the gear, and you still have the chance at 6-star mythical, which is, I mean, obviously the best. So you still have the chance at the best gear. It's just very low. But I still would do normal if you can't do hard. But yeah, so in Cur City, there's going to be two sets. Those are going to be Merciless and Supersonic. Now, both sets are very strong and sets you should be after. Both are good for PvP. And I wouldn't really say that Supersonic is the best for PvE. I would mainly say it's a PvP set. But Supersonic, it's a 9-piece set. At 4-piece, you're getting turn meter per buff the enemy gets, which can be really good for any of your turn meter disruptors, your turn meter boosters, whoever it may be. This can be very strong. And then at 6-piece, we have decreased turn meter effects placed by enemies on this champion are 30% less effective. So let's say Armand's, he can't do 100%, he can only do 70%, which isn't that big of a difference, at least if we're looking at Armand's, but it's something. And then 9-piece, increase any filter meter effects cast by the wearer by 30%, and that's pretty solid. I mean, it isn't the best set in the game. I would say the best bonus out of this is either going to be picking up this 3-piece for the speed, or really just getting this 4-piece for getting that extra turn meter. Let's say there's a Siphi on the enemy team. She's putting out three buffs on each enemy, so that's 6% times 4. You get 24% turn meter fill just for Siphi taking her turn. But the real star of the show here is Merciless. Merciless is the best set in Raid, and I don't think there's one that's even close. So Merciless, 1-piece, we're looking at 10% attack, 2, 15% crit damage, 3, 5% speed. Right there, just getting a few pieces, just really solid stat boosts. Then we get to the good stuff. 4-piece bonus, 30% chance to decrease a random skill's cooldown by 1 turn when dealing damage. So we have reflex basically, essentially. It's very strong, and you're able to get this into basically any build, even supports, just by doing accessories plus 1 or 2 up top. It's very solid. Then we have the 5-piece. 15% attack is really solid. And then this 6-piece bonus, one of the best in the game, being 35% ignore defense. Now, this alone is nuts, but then you add in the fact that we already have reflex with a bunch of extra stat boosts. That's insane. That's already the best set in the game. And then you go down to 9-piece, and then you add in a farmable relentless set, and it's even better. I mean, this set is disgusting, by far the best in the game. And I'm going to show you a few builds, how it's changed how it's changed the damage I've been able to output, and the different ways you can use the set. So if we look at let's say my Varl or my Razzlevarg, I'd say my Razzlevarg probably the most. I've recently been able to get him into a 6-piece set, a super strong 6-piece set. It's really, I was able to get his 5-star soul, and that took him to the next level. So 6 pieces of Merciless, we're getting that reflex plus that really strong ignore defense. We are at 7.5k attack, 225 speed, which I do plan on upping very soon. I really just need a new banner. But then we have so we have the 225 speed, 100% crit rate, 345 crit damage, and then 273 accuracy. So this is an extremely strong Razzlevarg. He's fully booked with 5-star Nature's Wrath, and then these are the masteries I have on him. Now, usually this would be a strong build by itself in Savage or Lethal, but we're getting an extra 10% ignore defense and then reflex, essentially. And now, this isn't the best key that I could possibly get from this team by any means. We got screwed over near the end. And it's not the best, it's not even close to the best key in my clan. But for me, this is a personal best and nightmare, and you can see all 3 of my DPS are using the Merciless set. Ignoring that defense, getting those cooldown reductions, especially on champions that have really important skills, like Mishinaki, like Razzlevarg. Mishinaki getting his buff strip on the right time can completely change the trajectory of your run. Getting that decreased defense or that decreased defense or decreased attack out at the right time can be so vital to any run, and this was the turnout for me. This ended at exactly turn 1000, so I had another 500 turns. I don't exactly know the math. If we divided this by 2, 190 million. We add 190 million to that, we should be at what, 570 million, which would be really solid for me. That would put me in 5th place for now, and eventually I'd be able to up the stats, get Razzlevarg 6-star, eventually get Varl Mishinagi 6-star, and this team could do some insane damage. I'm very happy with it, and it's all made possible by getting that Merciless set going. If you look at my Mishinagi, it's at 5.6k defense. Once we get that soul, he'll be over, well, he's at 4.6. Once we get that soul, he'll be over 5k. He's at 272 speed, 263 crit damage, and then 334 accuracy. Fully booked 2-star Nature's Wrath. Nature's Wrath is also an insane soul guide. So if you have any of your Hydra DPS that put out some debuffs, I would highly recommend getting Nature's Wrath, because it's just straight up however much damage this is saying. So you place some debuffs, you permanently have 6% extra damage. You place some debuffs at 5-star, that's 15% extra damage, just straight up. It's better than, I'd say it's better than Crushing Rend all the way up to 6-star. Obviously, once you get to 6-star, this is much better. But if you can just get Nature's Wrath on any of these champions at 5 or below 6, I would definitely be running it. These are the masteries I'm running on him, by the way. But yeah, who else can you run this on? That is the next question we should be looking at. So this set is not only for damage dealers. This set can be absolutely amazing on any support you want it on. Now, granted, this support does have to be doing some hits consistently. Somebody like I'm trying to think of somebody who mainly doesn't attack, just very rarely attacks. I don't know. Can't really think of anyone at this very moment. But there's some champions that won't hit all that often, doing something like this, where it's just cleansing, or you're just placing the debuffs and not attacking and placing the debuffs, whatever it may be. There's the chance where, hey, I'm not going to get use out of this merciless set, I'm not going to get those cooldown reductions because I'm not hitting. But on somebody like Mithrala, if you ran her in a 4-piece, she would then be getting her brimming cyclics and her sigil of toxic glory back over and over and over, constantly getting those cooldown reductions. You'll often see it ran in Wixwell Hydra teams, or really any like what's it called, infinity comp. So with Wixwell, he can just constantly use this because this is hitting, he's getting that cooldown reduction, and then you run like one cooldown reduction within your team itself. It's so good. Another type of champion you could run it on is what I just said, is a cooldown reduction champion. So let's say your Countess Lix, an amazing champion that needs to be talked about a little bit more. I run mine in Merciless. If you run her in this, she can then be getting her cooldown reduction on this ability, which is fantastic. Taking it from a 5-turn potentially down to like a 3-turn if you get lucky. Really, really solid. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's just a small look at what has really changed my account, and just a little explanation on why it's so good. So if you guys have learned anything from this video, if you feel a little bit more motivated to go after some Cur City runs, please do consider liking and subscribing. Do keep in mind that if you are struggling in places like Fire Knight Hard, an amazing set to put on your DPS to get that extra defense ignore is going to be Merciless, because right now I threw this team together and I figured it would be pretty fun. I don't know if I don't have the AI set up right now. That sucks. I was trying this out basically in place of my Foley in this team, just because of how hard my Razelvarg hits and how he can build up his Nature's Wrath throughout the entire run. It doesn't reset each round, which is so incredibly strong. Just keep in mind all these things that I've said, guys. Each of these things can do big things for your damage and can all be very, very beneficial. So yeah, thank you all again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.